DEMOCRATIC. Everything you need to know about the Vigo Dem Party. So sit back, relax, and watch from anywhere. Get ready for a chat with a chair.
I'm Joe Etling, Chair of the Vigo County Democratic Central Committee, and welcome to the award-winning Chat with the Chair. We're so delighted you could join us. Hope everybody's doing well. We've got a great show this evening. We're going to get right to it. I know everybody knows our guests, but go ahead and remind them who you are.
Karrum Nasser. I'm the Executive Director of the Vigo County Solid Waste Management District.
And Karrum, give our viewers a little update on things going on with Karrum Nasser and his family these days.
Oh, we're doing good. I'm almost, my kids are almost all gone, so I'm going to be, me and my wife living by ourselves, trying to make it so we don't go out to eat every night, like I'm sure she's looking forward to doing. But, you know, my son's over in Japan. He's in the Marines. My daughter and stepson are at ISU. And then I got my stepdaughter. She's getting ready to go to UMKC starting in the fall.
That's awesome. So are you having any withdrawal from not being on the city council, showing up at all those city council meetings?
You know, it's the past few times they've had some rezoning issues. Those are the ones that were always the biggest people coming out to protest or before with regards to rezoning. But I miss it, and you know, there's some good people on there. Cheryl Loudermilk, she took my seat. I know she does a great job. She's passionate about, you know, our district. So there's some good people on there that hopefully with the casino coming our way, that they are mindful of doing some quality of life projects for the community, because I think that's what they're hoping that we have. So we'll see how that plays out.
So you did a great job as a public servant there, and you continue to be involved in Democrat politics, the precinct committee person, and that position with regard to the inner workings of the Democratic Party. So we appreciate all that work, but you're still engaged with an event and an occupation that gets you definitely involved in community activities and making this a better community. Let's talk about what you're doing in that capacity.
Yeah, after the election, you know, I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I still wanted to be engaged. And one of the things that people would talk about was the recycling in our community, as well as the appearance of our community. So I was fortunate enough to be selected to take that position when my predecessor retired, and I've been doing that since 2020 of July, and we've been making a great impact. So we got some new things happening that, you know, hopefully we can talk about tonight.
And of course, there are a lot of great things happening when you took that position, but it's clearly taken off under your leadership. Let's talk about a lot of the programs that are going on right now in this community.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we've implemented at the beginning of the year was an app. You know, there's been statistics that show 80% of you know, Americans get their information from their smartphone. So what we wanted to do was to make it so that recycling is not only easy, but it's accessible, where people are able to get our events. So we implemented a app. You can get it on the Google Play Store or on the Apple Store, where it's Vigo County Recycles, where you can get a list of our events. You can get, if you want to dispose of something, you know, you just type in the search what item you're wanting to dispose of. It also talks about our Township Cleanups, our Tox Away Days. So it's very user friendly, and it helps people get some of the information that they are easily able to get on their smartphone.
So is that the only way to access is on a smartphone, or can they use a computer?
No, they can go to our website as well. The app is on there as well, where they can, you know, Vigo County solidwaste.org is our website, where they can get, you know, a list of all of our events. Our board has been very mindful of, you know, the community wanting to help with the appearance, as well as do some outreach with some schools. That's what we've been doing. Now that COVID's gotten better, we're able to implement some of those programs too.
But those who are trying to access it through their smartphone, then they go to the App Store to acquire that?
Yeah, it's free. We've had the first 2 months, we've had over 1,300 people download the app. I get a report each day, tells me some of the items that people are searching for to try to get rid of. So I know if it's a city resident that's searching for items or county residents that are searching for items. So our website is being updated. We're going to relaunch it next month. We got new hours coming up, so we're doing a lot of things to help our community recycle and keep clean.
Now, a lot of emphasis on recycling, particularly in the warmer weather when people are out and about, but it's a year-round project.
Yeah, we average about 300 cars a day. We have a car counter that helps us when we apply for grants, that we're able to tell how many people visit our location. In 2021, we recycled 102 tons of recyclables. Last year, we got up to 280 tons of recyclables. A lot of that has to do with, I think, the fact that we've been better doing more outreach, but I think the fact that ISU's downsized their recycling program, Goodwill no longer does their recycling program, so we're basically the only ones in the county that's currently recycling, so I think that has a lot to do with it as well.
And is there a reason behind the others kind of shutting down their operations or slowing them down?
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Back in 1993, under Governor Evan Bayh, they created solid waste districts. Back in 2003, we broke off with Vermilion County and Clay County and created our own solid waste district where we get tipping fees, host fees from Sycamore Ridge landfill that allows us to not rely on taxpayers' funding to do our projects. A lot of those other entities, they don't have the revenue that we have from the tipping fees to allow us to do the program. So that's why we're able to continue it. There are other communities that do are taxpayer funded that have line items of $5 million a year to do recycling programs, but all of our programs that we do are come from the Sycamore Ridge landfill tipping fees.
So that's with regard to your office, the operations are all then funded from that source?
Yeah, a lot of people try to compare us to Bloomington. They're the ones that have a $5 million line item. Marion County has a $3 million line item. Right now we're going to have a referendum with regards to our schools, and that whoever you ask might be a challenge to get taxpayers to fund a referendum, but some people would be more than eager to spend that much on recycling, but this way we don't have to rely on the taxpayers to fund it.
How important is that, just from your days on the city council, that that's not a line item they have to deal with on the council?
Well, I mean, when we're getting people that are wanting, their sidewalks fixed, their roads fixed, some people might think that recycling is not at the top of the priority list, but one good thing about the solid waste district is we're still able to do those things that people want done, whether it's township cleanups, whether it's our electronic recycling, whether it's our document shredding, our bottle cap program. We're able to do all those programs, but still not have to rely on taxpayer funding to do it.
So when you came into that position, I assume that based on your approach to a number of things, both personally and then as an elected official, recycling is an important part of your everyday life. But how has that evolved in your current position, would you say?
Well, a lot of it is I've learned a lot. It's not just as simple as, oh, this is plastic, I'm going to recycle it. There are items that are recyclable. There are items that aren't recyclable. I have to educate people on why certain things aren't recyclable. We get asked every day why we're not taking glass. That's something I work on every Monday. The first call I make is to try and get us to get a glass recycler. But a lot of it is we have to educate people to explain why certain things aren't recyclable. 99% of the people that we get up at our location are wanting to do it the right way. We just need to educate them on why things are done a certain way and how we're trying to make it easier for them. We're getting ready to change our hours next month, where we're going to be open 2 evenings a week. That's a big thing. Where currently we're only open till 4 p.m., but starting April 4th, every Tuesday and Wednesday we'll be open till 6:30. So we'll allow people that can't get there before work to be able to come after work to recycle. So we think that little things like that's going to make a big difference.
What have you found to be the most significant contribution of recycling to a community, and particularly Vigo County?
Well, last, like I said, in 2021, we recycled, over almost 300 tons that would be going to the landfill. The electronics, we collected over 102 tons. We got a lot of groups out there that are doing, the Society of Baggers that are doing, neighborhood cleanups that we're able to provide dumpsters throughout the year where they can go and put large items that they might struggle to get to the landfill that would be safe from going on the side of the road, whether that's a couch, a TV, a mattress. We're able to, for free, if you're a Vigo County resident. We got over 24 dates this year where people can bring hard to dispose items and bring it to our location with manpower to help dispose of it.
That's great. Now, of course, Vigo County has gotten knocked sometimes for being behind the time on certain issues, but based on things that are going on in your office, I guess you'd have to say that we're ahead of the curve on a lot of things with recycling.
Well, criticism's not a bad thing. It's how you take it that helps. And whether it's last year we only had 10 dates of cleanups. Previous year we only had 3. Our board wanted to focus on having more of those, so we have 24. So there's an opportunity for 24 different Saturdays where people can dispose of things. Some in the spring, some in the fall, some in the summer. Before, you used to have to live in, whether it's Nevins Township, Otter Creek Township, Harrison Township, you were only able to live in those townships to dispose of items, but we've opened it up. Just as long as you're a Vigo County resident, you can come to any of those dates. So we're always listening to see what it is. The glass, like I said, I get asked that all the time. I'd probably be a millionaire if I got $1 for every time somebody asks about glass, but it's not that for a lack of trying. It's just the market currently for glass just isn't there.
So if I am calling in asking about glass being recycled, and given the current situation it can't be done, what are you recommending to people with regard to glass?
Well, a lot of times when people think of what we do, we don't just do recycling. We do, it's all about reusing items, recycling items, or repurposing items. So what we try to tell people when it comes to glass, that there might be an alternative for the item that they're trying to get. Now, I know not everybody wants to get box wine, but maybe when it comes to the bottles, you just get a bigger bottle of glass instead of having 2 smaller bottles. You just get 1 bigger. I can't help it when somebody wants to drink Miller Lite out of glass when there's an opportunity to drink Miller Lite out of aluminum cans. But a lot of times it's not all about trying to recycle something. You got to try to cut down on your usage as well. We have a lady that, I don't want to be critical of her, but she'll bring us 3 bags of 20-ounce bottles water bottles that she's trying to recycle, and when she dumps them into our bin, she's patting herself on the back and feeling so great. But we try to remind her that maybe she can get a water filter for her faucet and just use a reusable bottle. So a lot of times it's not just about recycling, it's about changing your purchasing habits as well.
And I assume that's part of also what you're doing, that education and trying to educate people that are utilizing, as well as the community in general.
Yeah, I did a event down at Ivy Tech talking to students about, not only what we do at our program with recycling, but ways that they can, change their purchasing habits to improve the environment as well. Like I said, back when they made it the solid waste districts, Governor Bay's initiative was to reduce landfill usage by 50%. So we need to, be mindful that recycling does cost money. More and more places are not able to do it because there's not a demand for it. Everybody thinks that when we recycle items that we get rebates back from it. we don't get anything back from it. We basically take a loss, but we're able to do it because of our agreement with Sycamore Ridge Landfill.
So in your capacity, would you say that there would be one single issue maybe that most people are confused about or misinformed about with regard to recycling?
Well, a couple things. One, that it's not taxpayer funded. A lot of people think that we should be doing more because they're taxpayers, which is great that they feel like they should hold their elected officials responsible for their taxpaying dollars. But all of our stuff is through Sycamore Ridge Landfill, and a lot of the recycling initiatives we can do a lot on the local level, but a lot of that is at the state level as well. Other states that are progressive, whether it's Michigan, California, New Jersey, they have, if you're going to buy product, you basically pay a deposit, whether it's for glass bottles, plastic bottles. They have, machines throughout the state where you can put in a can or put in a bottle and get, the deposit back for those items. Everybody thinks that's something that we can do locally, but a lot of that is more on a state level with recycling initiatives.
So talk to our viewers about physically where you're located, the hours, and where they can reach you or people working with you.
Well, I'm glad you asked about our location. A lot of people, one of the things that we're looking at is possibly doing a south location. Currently our location is at 3230 East Haythorne Avenue. We're between the Fruit Ridge Roundabout and Lafayette. We're on the north side. You can see our sign from the building. We're working on getting a south location, but part of the reason why we haven't done that is our location up north is manned, meaning that we have people there every day that answer questions to help out, make sure that it's Vigo County residents that are coming there, making sure that it's actually recyclable products that are going in our bins. We used to have a location behind the courthouse that wasn't manned, and unfortunately there's people that ruin it for everybody, that people were putting tires in there, skids in there, garbage in there, so that's why we had to remove that. But we also have a location in West Terre Haute, next to the West Terre Haute Police Station, where you can go to that location as well if you want to do your recyclables there. Our hours are Monday, up at our north location, are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Until 4 p.m. Starting April 4th, we'll be open Tuesday and Wednesday until 6 p.m. And then we're open the first Saturday of the month, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m.
Now, the project that you had kind of as a remote, I assume that was a test or pilot program that you had in the courthouse parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because, our job is to make recycling easier, and it's not easy if someone has to go from the southern part of the county all the way to the northern part of the county. But when we get, you're always going to have some kind of contamination when it comes to recycling. Standard is anything less than 10%. The machinery, the material recovery facility up in Indianapolis will get rid of some of those contaminants. But when we're having the one behind the courthouse that was 90% contaminated, that's why it all had to go to the landfill. So we're mindful of that. That's why we've increased our evening hours, or added evening hours. That's why we've done the first Saturday of the month, because we know not everybody can get, during those hours that we previously had. But that's one of our goals that we're going to look at, is having a south location soon.
Now, the township cleanups you've talked about, do those then go to the location or remote, or are those still utilizing your facility up north?
They're remote. Our next one will be April 9th at the Negocian Firehouse for, we call it the Fayette Township Cleanup, but it's anybody that lives in Vigo County. We'll be there from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. or until the dumpsters are full. People can bring any kind of items. Last year on our cleanups, we did over 110 tons. Each Saturday we averaged about, that we had them, we averaged about 10 tons per thing. But if you go to our website, more importantly, if you download our app, all the dates are listed on there, and throughout the year. So there's, I know spring break's coming up. People are might not have been able to come because they're not back in time. But if you go there, they're throughout the whole year. I mean, we had one when it was 15 degrees outside, and we know in the fall there's probably going to be some days where it's going to be cold as well. But we'll be there regardless of the weather.
And what other programs have been initiated then under your leadership in addition to these township events?
Well, the bottle cap program is something I'm really proud of because it's kind of an amazing thing where we're able to explain to kids that a simple bottle cap can be made into new products, and especially when it's something that they can see. With the new walkway, we were able to add the connector from Terre Haute to West Terre Haute. We were able to provide two trash receptacles that were made out of plastic caps, as well as plastic benches to be able to help, if people want to sit down at the overlook to see. They had benches that were clean, that weren't going anywhere from the wind or anything. So we're proud of that, the bottle cap program. But I think the app is something that, I get it. Biggest phone calls I get is, hey, do you recycle this? Hey, do you recycle that? How do I get rid of this? Well, I don't mind answering those questions over the phone, but if you're in your car and you have something that you want to get rid of, if you just type in what item you're trying to get rid of, it's not necessarily, the options aren't necessarily to recycle it or to, throw it away. We also have options for, Goodwill, if they want to get rid of clothing, or Lighthouse Mission, or Habitat Restore, because a lot of those nonprofit organizations were hit really hard with COVID, that this was a way to help them out to increase their donations. So we're really proud of that as well.
Of course, if they're in their car, Karen, we want them to pull over before they access the app.
Yes,
is that right?
Yes, of course. We don't want our current sheriff that's running for re-election to pull people over because they're on their smartphones.
So we're just want to keep everybody safe here on the chat. Being responsible,
Exactly.
recycling,
Exactly.
and not texting or checking apps while we're driving.
Exactly. Thank you for the reminder. I don't want to get on the 6 o'clock news for that.
No, we wouldn't want that. So just clarify. A little disclaimer here.
Yes.
So as you're looking towards the future about projects and plans for continuing to expand recycling in Vigo County, what's on the horizon as you see it?
Well, we're looking at glass, of course, and we're looking at also doing maybe a compost program. With the amount of restaurants that we have in our community, when you throw household waste away, that food items, that creates methane gas in the landfills and so forth. So we're looking at ways to help people start composting programs, even having compost programs at our facility or somewhere else in the county. So, we're always looking at ways to improve that, initiative that Governor Bai created back in 1993 to reduce landfill consumption by 50%.
Of course, you've been a great guest on the chat multiple times, and we appreciate it. We of course consider this recycling and what you're doing so important, and we hope to be able to continue to bring more attention to that.
Right.
And so,
well, one of the things that with tax season coming, everybody's going to be doing their taxes, and the IRS has a certain period of time where you're supposed to keep your information. But one of the programs that we initiated also was document shredding, where people can come to our facility and shred sensitive information, no charge. There's a 2 box limit, but if you come and you have more, you can just come back the next week, and we can do that as well. And then the other big one we have is our Tox Away event. So,
well, of course, what I was getting to, this is going to be the cutting question here.
Okay.
All of a sudden, we're back on the glass. The glass seems to be the recurring theme that we just keep coming back to. So,
it is.
So, how important is that, and is that something with regard to the necessary equipment? Is that something there would be something that the community, that the taxpayers, that there could be to address that? Is that a significant issue with regard to the entire recycling project, glass?
Well, one of the things, 300 tons of recyclables that we collected last year, that's a big impact that we've made on the community. With regards to glass, we know that's an issue. We're not the only ones that are struggling with that. There's other communities that are struggling with it as well, that we are looking at that all the time. But people need to understand that, it's not just, people need to realize that recycling is an economic decision, that if a recycler doesn't feel like they're going to be able to make money off of glass, then they're not going to accept it. Right now, gas is $4.15 a gallon. A recycler might feel like it's more profitable to recycle plastic because it's not as heavy as an item to transport as glass is. So, as much as people get frustrated that we can't take glass, they need to be mindful that the items, aluminum, plastic, steel, cardboard, and paper, those items that we're collecting, is making a big impact as well.
No, we're doing great things there, so needless to say, that's something we want to focus on, all the positives, and of course, talk about the e-waste and what's going on with that.
Well, we do electronics recycling, e-waste. It's kind of a short term to help people know what it is, but every, starting April 4th, we're going to do it every Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. where we take any kind of electronic that basically plugs in or takes batteries. We have a recycler out of Indianapolis that takes those products. We'll strip down all the metal and anything that they can, recycle, and then they also, chop up the plastic and get rid of it. Tax time, people are getting their refund checks and they're going out buying new 65, 70-inch TVs that they gotta get rid of their old ones. One of the things, Best Buy, they do e-waste, but they have a limit on how many they take. We don't have a limit. If you got 15 computers, we'll take your 15 computers because we'd rather recycle those computers than them go into the landfill. Best Buy doesn't take any TVs over 55 inch. Well, I don't know of too many people that have TVs that are less than 55 inches. So it's a thing where we're proud of that we've done over 120 tons last year. I think us being open in the evening times, we'll be able to push that up to about 200 tons this year.
So remind our viewers again then with regard to the electronics, those days and times.
Yeah, every Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m.
And that starts April
4th.
And that'll continue for how long?
That's going to be our permanent hours.
Oh, wow. Well, that's huge. And so for our viewers out there that have an electronic, if it plugs in, they need to do anything else special with that device? Do they need to do anything with the computers? Do they have to remove anything?
We if you get it in your vehicle, we have manpower that will help you unload it. So if you have one of those bulky projection TVs, if you get it in your vehicle, we have manpower that will help unload it. It's, again, if you have any questions on if it's an item that we accept, if you go to our website or our app and type in what item you're trying to get rid of, whether it's a microwave, a TV, a VCR, whatever the electronic item is, if you put in that search item, more likely than not we'll be able to accept it on our e-waste day.
And there may be glass on some of those items.
Yeah, where's my dollar? Every time I get asked about this, that's my retirement fund. But we're working on it, Joe. We're working on it.
No, but on electronics, we got some glass on the electronics.
Yes,
So there's one
but
way to do
the
it.
place up in Indianapolis, they will take. That's not glass that are on the.
I
That's
see.
plexi material. But
I see.
yeah.
Well, perhaps on some of the old TVs, some of those old box TVs, we might have a little bit of glass on the.
They probably do have some glass, but we're getting away from those little wooden console
they're still
TVs.
around.
Yes,
They're still
we're slowly but surely getting rid of those.
What is the most interesting item you've seen brought through to be recycled?
My mom might watch this. So no, I'm teasing. I'm teasing. No, probably somebody tried to make a transistor radio. They were taking parts from other thing, and it looked like something that might have been in Ted Kaczynski's garage or something.
Is that right?
But yeah, that was probably the most interesting thing.
How about for the electronics? What seems to be the oldest item that you've seen brought in?
Probably, well, I would say record player, but those are starting to come back. But we get, record players, we get, you name it, we get it. It's kind of interesting. It also shows how old our community is, because we get a lot of people that unfortunately their parents might have passed away, that they're going and cleaning out the house or their garage, and they're bringing items that their parents, they were taught just not to throw anything away, So that's one of the things that it's kind of bittersweet that we're able to provide that service for people that have had to go through that, whether it's, getting rid of electronics, whether it's getting rid of old documents that they, have to get rid of, or old chemicals for our Tox Away Day. It's something that, we're able to help our community with.
Clearly, the electronics is a huge situation, and that's got to help out people, and it also helps out keeping it out of the landfill. And the Tox Day, once again, those are things that sure helpful to people who are dealing with cleaning up for family members, particularly those that are elderly, helping them out. So when is the next day regarding toxic?
Yeah, and I get asked this a lot, and I'm glad you mentioned it. It's we do that event once a year, and it's because it's a very, very expensive event. We have to get chemists from Purdue University that come and just make sure we're not mixing chemicals together. It's not something where we can just do it and hope for the best. We don't want to put two chemicals together that might make us sore on the 6 o'clock news. So that's why we do that. I mean, last year it was over a $50,000 event for us. So again, that wasn't taxpayer funded. That was all through tipping fees from Sycamore Ridge landfill. So it's September 10th, rain or shine.
September 10th. Put that on your calendar. That's a big one.
From 8 to 2. It's up at our location on Haythorne. A lot of people might be familiar with it, being at the fairgrounds, but we do it at our facility because it teaches people where we're at. If we want them to come to that one event, but we also want them to come the other events to do regular recycling. We want them to see how clean it is. A lot of people, when they think of recycling, they think of a landfill, they think of it being dirty, but we make it really, really clean at our facility. We help with the traffic flow where people can get in and out. So it's something that's why we have it at our location, the Tox Away event. So
for our viewers, any last thoughts, education-wise, or just recycling thought that you might share with our viewers?
It's a thing where it starts at home. I mean, if your son or daughter is telling you, hey, don't throw this away or don't throw that away, it's recyclable. It's probably they've heard from me at their school telling them that, or they've had their teacher telling them that. So it makes a big difference. I mean, I'm amazed when I see, when I first started there's maybe 25, 30 cars a day. The fact that we're up to 300 cars a day shows that people are very passionate about, recycling, for the future. I mean, we have people, whether it's young kids, college students that are recycling, or older population that are recycling. It just shows that we have a passionate community that wants nothing but the best for us.
I'm glad you're encouraged by all that. So just remind our viewers one more time the best way to get a hold of you and your location.
Yeah, our location is 3230 East Haythorne Avenue. Our website and our app is Vigo County Recycles, and our website is www.vigocountysolidwaste.org.
And if you're tuning in watching us, we hope that you like us and share us so that we can get this word out. This is so important, the work that you're doing, and doing great things. We're so glad that that's all happening in our community here in Vigo County. So encourage everybody to participate and recycle. Get up and see Karrum. And if you've got questions, give him a call. And if you've got questions about glass, he'll even answer those questions. Just have $1 available when you call him.
Retirement fund.
We're working on the retirement fund. Karrum, we really appreciate you coming in and chatting with us this evening. Hope everybody is being safe at home and has a great rest of your evening. Thanks for tuning in. Till our next chat with the chair, I'm Joe Etling. God bless you.
Everything you need to know about the Vigo Dem party. So sit back, relax, and watch from anywhere. Get ready for a chat.